My name is Ida LeBlanc. I am the General Secretary of the National Union of Domestic Employees, NUDE, in Trinidad and Tobago. Even though they have 10 categories that can move freely, there is nothing in place really to ensure that domestic workers move freely. For example, who is a domestic worker? You know? The people that we have to meet at the borders, the immigration, they don't all form they don't have a fair definition of what is a domestic worker, who is a domestic worker, and what is domestic worker. So we are really troubled about this issue because we don't want to know that domestic workers who expect that when they reach to the country and they can move freely, thinking that they can move freely, send back to the country. Because some domestic workers will really have to save for months, even a year and more, to get that money to travel. And going to a country and being sent back is not an easy thing, you know? It is something that domestic workers, it's saddening. And not only saddening, it hits in your pocket. Because when you save this money thinking you're going to make a better life for you and your children and whoever might be depending on you, you fall deeper into this poverty pit. Recognition for domestic as workers is a critical issue for us. This is a burning issue for us. This is the issue that we really started off with when we established our union in 1982. And to date, in 2013, the situation remains the same. Because if domestic workers are not recognized as workers, and you have 10 categories of workers that could move freely throughout the Caribbean, and you're saying domestic workers are one of the categories, and we are not recognized as workers in our own country, to me that is confusing to domestic workers, you know. And all we are asking governments to do is to ratify the Convention 189, which spells out all the protections that domestic workers need and should have, you know. And that convention also tells you about what is domestic work, you know, and who is a domestic worker. And if governments can just use that as a guideline, you know, in seeking to protect domestic workers, well, that in itself will undermine all the other discrimination that domestic workers have to face daily.